that your fasting may not be seen by others, but by your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And so this is now the third time that Jesus has said that last sentence to us in this longer section of the Sermon on the Mount. Because look down, Jesus said that sentence in verse 4 concerning giving, and then he said it in verse 6 concerning praying, and now he repeats it concerning fasting. And a few weeks ago, if you were here, we talked about how I really do think that this idea of reward in each of those cases is intentionally ambiguous each time from Jesus. Meaning, if you notice, in each case, Jesus does not define what this reward is. And he doesn't even tell us whether such a reward will come right away, or even if it'll come in this life or in glory to come. He doesn't elaborate on this reward for us. We don't know what it is in each case. But the point is, what Jesus does tell us, and what we do know, is enough. And that's, again, that your Father sees you and that he will reward you. And especially concerning fasting, let me just say, this is why we fast, for that reward. And when we say that, if that bothers you, hear me out. We're not saying that we fast for reward instead of God. Do you get that? Because that's a misunderstanding on what we mean by reward. And if Jesus ever thought that, if he thought that by definition reward meant leaving out God, he would not have appealed to rewards. And so this is not some God-ignoring reward. Instead, we need to realize, brothers and sisters, that in reality, all of our Christian rewards involve God. And so think about it. Such a reward that our Father who sees us in secret may give us because of our fasting may be something like that closer experienced relationship with him. Right? Or our reward could be guidance in our lives, especially if we fasted for guidance or something. Or it could be something like a deeper assurance of forgiveness or empowerment in temptation, especially if we fasted because we've been struggling with some sin. Or our reward could be certain affections in our hearts, like feeling more love or joy or peace or whatever. Or honestly, since God isn't a machine, remember, he may not exactly reward us in the way that we'd expect from our fast. And he might give us something better. Or finally, our reward could be nothing yet in this life, but saved for us in glory to come. Or it could be a combination of any of those things. Because again, if you're tracking, God does not promise, if you fast for this long or fast exactly like this, then I will always give you this specific reward. Because remember, God is not some cosmic vending machine. We don't fast because we know that if we do this, God will always do that for us. In love, God doesn't work like that. He does promise to care for us. He's with us. We're secure in Jesus. But we don't know exactly what reward he'll give us. Yet, Jesus, though, does want us to know that our fasting, brothers and sisters, will result in reward. It will. Which personally then means for each one of us that knowing that should motivate you and me to fast. It should. And that again, may sound strange to you, doing something seemingly so godly, like fasting for your own reward. But that is what Jesus our Lord says. And not only that, but it's honestly unchristian and not from Jesus to think that we do good things like fasting or praying or anything else really that's good according to the Bible, like loving others or giving or being part of a church community or anything like that. It's not honestly from Jesus to think that we do those things from a completely self-forgetful motive. That's unrealistic. That's a modern philosophy in the last few hundred years that having no regard for self at all is best. But that is not Jesus' philosophy. Instead, Jesus is crystal clear. We do things like fast and pray because it glorifies God, yes, and also, though, because our Father sees us and is with us, and he will reward us.